Hey, Steve here doing the muscle car crawl at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts. Now, the Shelby Mustang GT350 in 1965 was a very special car. But if you really look at it, the amount of modifications to the same basic Mustang fastback weren't that extensive. Pretty much the biggest part that was visually altered was the hood. Now, this is a fiberglass skin, and this was made by Cal Automotive, a North Hollywood, California-based maker of fiberglass T-buckets and dune buggies, and yes, for Shelby, the hoods. The scoop itself was designed by a fellow named Peter Brock, who also did a lot of other design on Cobra bodies. But this hood was lighter than the stock steel hood, and this scoop allowed some cool air to enter the unsilenced open element air filter. And again, we can see here the underside of the hood, the skin is actually a steel structure, this thing right here, and it's bonded to the fiberglass outer. So that's pretty much the extent of the body modifications, or at least the external ones, done on the 65 GT350. By contrast, the 2015 through 2020 GT350 Mustang, a whole lot of differences. Now, these do have the same steel shell as an EcoBoost or a four-cylinder or a V6 Mustang, but these have very unique parts, these GT350s of the more modern age. Aluminum hood and aluminum fenders. Now, the hood itself does not have a scoop, but rather it has an air extractor. What this does, it allows air from under the engine bay to escape rather than creating lift. And these cars will certainly do 150, 160 miles an hour. So at those kind of speeds, you don't want air trapped under the front of the car. Another detail too is that while each Mustang family has its own unique fascia, the V6 and the four-cylinder cars don't have these sort of diagonal strakes. Only the GTs and GT350s do. But on the GT350, these are a little more pronounced. And what this does, it divides top and bottom and allows airflow to go exactly where Ford wants it. The middle part, the air is directed into the radiator, but if we look really close here, we'll see that it's actually blocked off all the way across the top and the bottom, creating a rectangular slot right here, which concentrates air onto the radiator core, where it does the most good, without having too much air go through there and causing lift and drag. Down low, we can see where the same thing applies, but on the outsides of these tusks, which again are similar to the things on a 5-liter GT, but more pronounced, the air on the outsides of these is directed outside of the engine bay toward the front fenders, where it goes either out in front of the tire or makes its way out this vent right here. Now again, these front fenders are specific to the GT350. GTs, EcoBoosts, V6s, they don't have this, and they're not of the wide fender variety. And beyond all that, this magnet will stick to the door. The same door is used on all Mustang coupes, but up front, the magnet won't stick to the aluminum front fenders. So that's just a part of the aerodynamic story on the GT350. A lot of body changes made to these cars versus 1965, where pretty much just the hood was the special part. Of course, under the hood, a lot more story. And again, this video just scratches the surface, but we see here a couple of details. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration mandates this little cable right here. What does that do? Is it maybe for radio reception? Nope. Apparently in crash testing, it was shown this little black plastic vent insert, the honeycomb, could get loose and become a flying projectile. So this is a tether to keep this attached to the vehicle, or at least not going too far in the event of an impact. But beyond all that, we can see here where the engine bay is shaped like a V, and the area inside is fed by the center of the grille. The area on the outside of the V is where air goes through and past, but not under the car. So that's just a small part of the GT350 body modification story. And the beautiful thing about these modern S550 GT350s is that since the beginning in 2015, over 20,000 of these cars have been built. So versus 562 of the 1965. So a lot of folks say, you know, they don't build cars like they used to. Well, I say the good old days are right now. They're both excellent cars. So stick around for more. We'll have more Shelby Mustang comparos and lots more junkyard crawl. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve YouTube channel.